What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and to another Overwatch League news video. So today, Xe announced his retirement from the Overwatch League due to health concerns. Let it be known that this retirement could only be temporary though. Xe could return as soon as next year if he feels up to it. But still, it feels like Dallas fans just cannot catch a break. This is some tough news, but ultimately, this is a decision Xe had to make. It has nothing to do with his teammates or anything like that. He just needs to take the time to focus on himself. Let's highlight what has happened so far, then go over what this means for the Fuel. So to recap the story as of right now, Xe said that his neck and shoulder injuries have been getting worse these last few years. He's been dealing with scoliosis among some other really painful things, but both his own personal decision and the hospital made it clear to him that it would be very hard to continue his career this way. He very well could withstand another year with help from the team, but he feels it would be far too difficult to handle all of the practice and matches he would have to be a part of. The pain and the combined stress would be too much. It would be too much of a distraction. With this in mind, he feels it would not be fair for the team for him to stay under these circumstances, and it would be better for them to find a replacement. For now, he's going to work on his health. He is devoting the next year to that alone, so he can hopefully come back next year. He talked it over with the management, and his contract status makes it so he can return to the team in 2022. Xe admitted that giving up such a huge platform was insanely difficult, and he would like to return if he's feeling up to it. But in order to do that, to ensure he can be in good playing shape, he has to devote a lot of time to the recovery process. He tried pushing himself on Paris last year, and he said it was really painful. He knows it's not a good idea to go through that again. But like the boss he is, he said he plans to keep his skills sharp with occasional practice, which won't tremendously hurt his health. You gotta respect the motivation. He really wants to play still, and he'll do whatever it takes to stay in somewhat decent shape so that he can one day return to the Dallas Fuel. For now though, he's going to take it day by day and work hard to improve his health. You have to love how selfless he's acting in this situation. He could have pushed himself then maybe retired mid-season if he wanted to, but he knows that could have made the lives of his team much more difficult as they'd be looking to find a replacement in a panic. Doing it now ensures they have at least a little bit more time to find a good replacement. Mad respect goes out to Xe here. Him keeping his team in mind until the very end is very admirable, and it's great that he made the decision to focus on his health. We've seen athletes, both virtual and physical, do more harm than good from pushing themselves too hard. It happens all the time, so I think Xe's making the right choice here. It's understandable why he'd do this, and nobody can really blame him. It's a shame we have yet to see Xe for a whole season. If he could be in the MVP race while missing time, imagine what he could do if he played pretty much every game of the season. He has so much potential. It really sucks to see him be plagued by health conditions because he does not deserve it. But that's life for you. Sometimes we get put into really sucky situations. I wish nothing but the best for Xe. Hopefully he can make a full recovery and come back to us one day. He'll be greatly missed, but it's assuring to know that he's going to at least try and come back to us. So keep in mind that this is not necessarily goodbye, at least not yet. Now let's shift gears over to the Fuel. What are they going to do? Because this is a tough loss. Xe was their hit scan and sniper specialist. He was among the elite DPS players of the game. His consistency is some of the best you'll ever come across. It's a major blow to the Dallas DPS line, and the timing of this only makes the situation worse. It's not like this happened at the beginning of the offseason. The top options, they're off the market at this point. Finding a replacement who can even come close to Xe's play is going to be extremely difficult. The Fuel are in a tough spot. Who will they sign? You'd have to imagine that they would probably have a contenders player on their radar. It feels more likely they would sign a prospect rather than a veteran, but who knows? Some of the theories I have heard about who Dallas signs include Nene, Merit from Runaway, Innovation from Team CC, and Sigma out of the NA contenders team Odyssey, just to name a few. And yes, you heard me right. There is a guy in contenders named Sigma, and he is nuts. The only good thing that could come out of this is having a potential solution at Tracer finally, because a few of those guys that we just named are pretty solid on her. Another theory I heard is that Dallas could be signing Libero due to him posting waving emojis on his Twitter. Could this just be a coincidence? Could Libero be hinting at something else? I have no idea, but either way, Libero does not make a lot of sense in my opinion, because as much as I would love to see him back in the league, he is more of a projectile guy at the end of the day. He's played hitscan before, but it's not really his specialty. With a season of practice, maybe he could become a respectable hitscan player. I still remember back in Stage 2 of 2018 when he was solid on Widow, but it feels pretty far-fetched. Libero is a great veteran to have on any roster, but this might not be the best role. Dallas need a dedicated sniper and or tracer specialist, unless they're opting into multiple signings, which is very well possible. But Dallas spent a lot of money this offseason, so how many more players could they realistically afford to sign? I have no clue what they intend on doing. Will they even have a replacement on this roster before opening day? They literally play their first game in 3 days from the time of this recording. So are Dallas going to rush and find somebody new, or are they going to take the L and just deal with what they've got until they've properly found a replacement? Either way, it's not looking good. If they sign a quick replacement, that person will likely not feel extremely comfortable, at least at the start. If they choose to take their time, that means Doha will likely be their primary hit scan. He's been on the flex role for quite a bit now, so that could be an ugly thing to watch. Remember when he played Ashe last year? Putting it nicely, it was not the best. The Dallas DPS situation is now very worrisome, and it could cost them some games that you'd expect them to win, especially here at the start of the season. What once looked to be a fun opening week for them is now looking like a potential 0-2 start. I would be shocked if this team is not in disarray, at least a tiny bit. If they manage to act like nothing even happened, I would be genuinely very impressed. Dallas, at least in my opinion, takes a hit in the power rankings from something like this. I could still see them being top 10 just because of the sheer amount of talent they're working with, but I don't think they're number 7 anymore. Xe is not a guy they could afford to lose, and it has now left numerous question marks and a gaping hole at their DPS line. What are the Fuel going to do? This happened so suddenly. Who are they going to sign? How will they play in opening week? There's a lot more questions than answers, but hopefully the Fuel announce their new signing sooner rather than later so we know what to expect. And now I'm going to turn it over to you. How are all of you feeling about Xe's temporary retirement? Will the Fuel be able to recover from this? And who do you think they'll sign? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I think I can speak on behalf of most of this community when I say that we are all hoping Xe can make a full recovery. It's going to be so weird not having him in the league after the absurd rookie campaign he posted. Hopefully the next year or so will be enough time for him to get back into proper playing condition. And that's basically everything I have to say, so if you enjoyed the news content, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.